Scot Heathman, first of all, thank you. And second of all, take us away.
Thank you, Scott. And this was a surprise, so congratulations on that, and thank you for the gift today. Coach, I get to see you a lot, and I always appreciate when you're diving into my life and we get a chance to talk, and I appreciate that so much. I want to ask about JMac though.
Hmm.
I have a kid on the spectrum, and these moments are consumed and experienced differently for a child on the spectrum. And I'm
Right.
curious today, how is JMac using that day in February to continue to drive success in his life?
Well, I would say the biggest thing, Scott, for him, because the ironic thing is that, today he's 6'2", 170 pounds. So, that game he was like 5'9", 150 pounds, 15 pounds. So, but the biggest thing that I think is it just gained him a lot of confidence. And he everything he does, he still does some speaking, but he works for the school district. He works as a bus monitor, but he has his own little social media platform that he goes around to a lot of the high schools and colleges and does interviews, calls it the JMac Show. And uh, it's just really cool to see how he's done. The fact that he's 36 years old now and he just got his driver's license a year ago. So he just he never ceases to amaze me. I'll tell just a general story for everybody. When he started, he volunteered my program for my last 9 years. So he was, it's funny because I would go out to speak and people say, "Do you ever see him?" And I'd start laughing. See him? I see him every single day. And the days I don't see him, I get like 10 texts. But was about a few years in. He was also a runner in high school, but because he was so physically weak, he was just an average runner. Well, when he got so much bigger and stronger, he comes into the office one day. He says, "Coach, I really love coaching, but I miss competing myself. I'm going to get back into running." I said, "Really? What are you going to do?" He says, "I'm going to run the Rochester Marathon." I said, "Well, going, about goal setting. We always talk to goals." I said, "Well, Jason, what was your goal for the Rochester Marathon?" He says, "Coach, I'm going to qualify for the Boston Marathon." Now, at this time, he's like 25, 26. I don't know how many are on the call that are runners, but the qualifying time for the Boston Marathon for his age was 3 hours and 5 minutes. And for the people that aren't aware, that's a very fast marathon. That's moving. And I almost fell off my chair because I've not run marathons, but I was a runner in high school, so I know about speed. And I said, "Jason, that's a really fast marathon." He says, "Coach, I'm working with Coach Shoemaker. He was our cross country coach. How about he runs the Boston or Rochester Marathon first time, 3 hours, 1 minute, and 46 seconds." Comes in a couple days later and he's all fired up. And then he tells me, "Coach, I decided I've got to prove to myself one more time. So I'm not going to run next year." The crazy thing is, for the people that follow the Boston Marathon, that was the year they had the bombing. He could have been there. So he didn't go. And then the next year he has to qualify again. Actually runs like 3 minutes and change and qualifies again, or 3 hours and change. Gets the going to the Boston Marathon. So I asked him what his goal for Boston. He says, "Coach, I'm going to break 3 hours." I said, "Jason, Boston's a harder course. It's got Heartbreak Hill." He goes, "I know. I've upgraded my training." First Boston Marathon, 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 46 seconds. So the thing that I really like to share with Jason is that yes, it built him confidence, but then he was willing to get out there and take a chance and do things that a lot of people didn't think he could do, and it's just amazing. He never ceases to amaze me.
Absolutely incredible.